Welcome back to Histories and Mysteries Uncovered, and in today's video we're going to be covering a mystery case of Lizzie Borden. I know this has been talked about a lot on YouTube, but we're going to be talking about it today. It is a mystery, and one that has baffled historians and crime lovers for many years. This is the case of Lizzie Borden and the murder of her family. Did she do it? Let's find out. But before we get into this case, you know what to do. Grab yourself a big old coffee and let's begin. On the 19th of July, 1860, Lizzie Andrew Borden was born in Fall River, Massachusetts, to loving parents Sarah Anthony and Andrew Jackson Borden. Her father was of English-Welsh descent. A little background on her father. He grew up in a modest family and he struggled financially. He did descend from wealth, but he became a wealthy property developer and a director of a few textile mills, and also owned commercial property. He was also the president of the Union Savings Bank and a director of the Durfee Safe Deposit and Trust Co. And when he died, his estate was valued at $300,000, which in 2020 is equivalent to $9 million. So her dad had a lot of money. But Andrew was a frugal man. He did not like to spend his money. Apparently the house did not have any plumbing, but it was fashionable for the rich society to live in a place called the Hill and have plumbing and a more fashionable life. Lizzie had an older sister, and they had a religious upbringing. They attended the Central Congregational Church, which as a young lady she was very much involved in other churches' activities. She even taught at Sunday school. She got involved in as many activities and was involved in the Christian Society, Women's Christian Temperance Union, and was even a member of the Fruit and Flower Mission, so she was very much active in her community. Lizzie's mother died, and within 3 years her father remarried, a woman called Abby Durfee Gray. Lizzie believes she only married her father for his wealth, and she did not marry for love. She only called her stepmom Mrs. Borden. She barely ate meals with her father and new mother, so her and her father's relationship started to break down when her father gifted property to Abby's family, which I'm guessing really annoyed Lizzie, her frugal father giving away property to a new woman who isn't her mother. So let's get into the murders. So on the 3rd of August, the Borden family had a guest stay over, John Marsh, who stayed in the guest room. The next day everyone was present, including the maid. So at 8:48 John left. He was planning to return around noon for lunch, and Andrew left for a morning walk around sometime after 9. So left was Abby, Lizzie and the maid were left in the house. Around 9:30 to 10, Abby went to clean the guest room. This was usually Lizzie's or her sister's job, but Abby did it this day. And it is said that this is when she met her attacker and was murdered using an axe. She was hit multiple times. Andrew returned from his walk around 10:30. He couldn't open the door, his key failed. So he knocked on the door. The maid came to open it, but found the door jammed. Apparently she could hear Lizzie laughing from the top of the stairs. But by this time Abby was already dead. Later on, Lizzie denied being upstairs, and that her father asked where Abby was, and she was sent to visit an ill friend. When Abby finally made it into the house, Lizzie supposedly helped him out of his boots into his slippers, before he lay down for a nap. In the crime scene photo, Andrew was wearing his boots. Lizzie then apparently sent the maid to a department store sale and asked her to go. But the maid fell unwell and went to her room for a nap on the 3rd floor. The maid testified that she was in her room on the 3rd floor until 10 minutes past 11, when she heard Lizzie shouting for her to come downstairs because her father is dead, and said someone has come in and killed him. So Andrew's body was slumped on the couch in the downstairs sitting room. He was hit 10 to 11 times with an axe. Looking at the wounds, it was recent. Detectives say he died around 11. Now let's get into the investigation. This is a confusing one. She originally told police officers that before entering the house, she heard a groan or scraping noise before she entered. But then 2 hours later, she said that she heard nothing before entering the house. When asked about her stepmom Abby, she stated that she received a letter to visit a sick friend. And then she said that Abby had returned and Lizzie had asked a neighbour to look for her upstairs. The neighbour did go upstairs and saw Abby lying on the floor dead. A lot of reporters disliked Lizzie. Apparently she had an attitude about her. Police did not do a full investigation. They did not check Lizzie for blood. They did check her room, but found nothing. The murder weapons were found in the basement, but these were never removed from the house. The family was ill before the murders took place. They were violently ill. Abby suspected it was poisoned mutton. The milk in Andrew's and Abby's body was tested for poison, but this test came back negative. Supposedly a local saw Lizzie buying hydronic acid. Lizzie defended herself, stating that this was to clean her furs. The next day, Lizzie had a friend stay around. Police were on a lookout outside. She was seen going into the basement, and the day after, she was caught ripping up a dress with paint on it. Apparently she brushed past a wet wall, and ruined her dress. So on the 11th of August, Lizzie Borden was served with a warrant for arrest and placed in a jail. But later on, newspapers basically said she was possessed and not herself, and this changed the opinion of her friends. On the 7th of November, a grand jury began an evidence hearing, and Lizzie was indicted on the 2nd of December. Her trial began on the 5th of June, 1893. But 5 days before the trial, on the 1st of June, an axe murder occurred in Fall River. A woman was found in her kitchen. The similarities was noted by the jurors. But a Portuguese immigrant was later convicted for the woman's murder in 1894, and he was not in Fall River at the time of the Borden's murder. After the jury went back and forth with the trial and the evidence against Lizzie Borden, on the 20th of June 1893, Lizzie was acquitted for the murders, and she left the courthouse happy, with a big smile on her face. She then went on living with her sister in the Hill neighbourhood, where she always wanted to live, and she changed her name to Lisbeth. She did die on the 1st of June 1927, aged 66. So I'm leaving this video here. What is your opinion of this case? And do you think she did the murders? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if there's anything I missed out, please let me know down below. My opinion is I believe she did the murders. There is so much pointing towards her doing them. And I don't get how the maid heard nothing How big was the house that she could not hear her bosses being murdered? Well, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big old like and subscribe. If you do like this kind of content, I upload every Sunday. Until next time.